Time check is 39 minutes past the hour of 9. This is where it's ready to welcome Dr. Batson. And we're no longer in fear as long as we understand our health and beautiful savior. As we get ready to welcome a beautiful, beautiful word as always. Dr. Batson in a bit. Mhm. Ready. Well, welcome. None other than the gentleman himself, Dr. Batson. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Mr. Carter. How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic idea.
I am good. I am good. Um, Busy as usual, but good. You know how it is. So let me say a pleasant, let me say a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. We had a very busy, hectic week, as we expected, because of that particular promotion that we're doing. Where I make myself a little more available. At least for the initial consultations, and of course, your follow-ups would be, in some cases, with myself as well as our senior consultants. So, thank God for a very good week. We dealt with a lot of individuals, a lot of persons understood and really come to understand and appreciate now how important it is to pay attention to their diet, how important it is to really see the condition of the blood. Just Wednesday, a lady was telling me who experienced blood analysis for the first time. She said, Dr. Batson, I must say that this was an eye opener for me. And she said that she actually encouraged some of her other family members to do it simply because of the information that it was actually able to provide for her. It was really an eye opener. She understood now the importance of why she should drink more water. She also came to appreciate, why she needs to reduce the sugars because, the blood was very sticky, which is an indication of poor circulation, which is also an indication of lack of oxygen and blood flow to the brain, that type of thing. So, I was really glad that it brought an awareness to individuals, and I again encourage persons to take advantage of that special that we're having, where yours truly, Dr. Batson, would be in office together with the other consultants, because usually what happens, I would have one day in Shogunas, which would be Wednesday. So what I decided to do, or we decided to do rather, is in order to facilitate a lot of the backlog that we have, and a lot of persons who, they want to see us, but it's the time and whatnot. I actually facilitated, that this week, which was the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. And of course, God's willing, we will be doing this week as well, which is the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of April. All those would be Shoguna's office, open clinic day. And we also going to do the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th of April. So I actually decided to extend it an additional week because of what we'll have going on in Tobago, which is actually going to be in May, God's willing, when we finish. Well, that'll be after we open the office in Tobago. Right, so you could take advantage of that. And let me say a pleasant good morning to our social media listeners. Keep in mind, we are live on all social media platforms. Excuse me. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. We are Batson Associates Limited, TT, sorry, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And look out for us on TikTok. I'll get from Shakil in a little bit what our handle is there, and of course, go share us, like us, a lot of valuable information there that you could benefit from, and that you could actually help somebody also benefit from. You might not have the funds at the point in time to come to Batson Associates, and that's understood. I mean, everything has a financial consequence, and everyone has their budgets that they need to adhere to and whatnot. And I respect that, but just keep in mind that your health, at the end of the day, is very, very valuable to you and those around you. So, try your best. And a lot of the time, even recently this week too, a lady was saying, because she ended up coming and do the pensioner special, and she said she was glad for that because, it saved her a good bit of money. She paid like almost half the price that she would have originally paid. And, she was actually able to use that money now to get a Santula and 3 bottles of water. And I believe she took some circulation tea. And she was quite satisfied with the results that she got so far because she had some problems with pins and needles, cramping in your calves, burning on their feet. That is something we're going to speak about today. Of course, I'm going to try my utmost to take and honor as much questions as I can. So I think what we're going to do, Mr. Carter, is as we go along, we'll just give information as regards to when we will really open the telephone lines, that we will take calls specifically for maybe that period and then, answer accordingly. I think that's going to be easier for individuals if we do it that way. All right.
Okay.
Good. So, again, let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Vidya Abdul. Good morning to you. Augustine Forestine. Good afternoon. Good morning, sorry, to you. Alison Garner. Miss Avian Francis. She says, good morning, Dr. Batson. Good to see you with us again. 2 questions. One, white spot scenes on a person's skin. Is it liver spots, and how do you get rid of them? Okay. Now, those spots, let me just answer this quickly, as I have it here. A lot of the times pigmentation issues, because there's a skin condition known as vitiligo, which is where you start to get that serious discoloration of pigmentation, where you actually lose a lot of the aspect of the skin that gives you that dark appearance. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. And you find a lot of persons having that. And liver spots are similar. What is called liver spots are similar to that. What you have to take into consideration is that when you're looking at your skin, your liver is always one of the major culprits. It's usually 3. It's usually your liver, your, your lymphatic system, and your colon. Usually, and that's the manifestation of any skin issue. What it has also showed too is a deficiency in D vitamins. And again, that's something I was highlighting to a client yesterday because I was in DB yesterday. And one of the things I was telling them, prior to COVID, nobody really didn't know anything about D3. I mean, except persons like myself. I've been using D3 for over 20, maybe about 22 years now. And that was basic aspect of when I was studying as regards to basic nutrition that everyone should have access to. It must have always included a vitamin D3. And as I said, I've been doing that for in excess of 20 years. When now, just recently, 2 years ago, because of COVID, you hear a lot of people now know about D3. Before, a lot of people didn't know about that. And it just goes to show how deficient and yeah, that we are as regards to our knowledge of what nutrition really is. Last week we did a program there where we highlighted, an example of a particular gentleman who would have started off with a particular disease, which was diabetes, at the age of 55. And when he was 10 years following, you would have expected someone who has been diagnosed with one problem for so long, you would actually like to hear that individual say, well, I have better circulation since I've been diagnosed with diabetes. My blood sugar levels read better. My A1C is more improved. I have more energy. I no longer have problems with pins and needles, that type of thing. So it's a matter of actually um improving. And of course, with that particular individual, there was no improvement. They actually got worse, where they ended up now on 15 medication in total and 4 or 5 different issues, which primarily include diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol. And then later on, they started to realize that they had problems with the kidney. And in my personal humble opinion, that really didn't make any sense. Why is it, are you sicker when with advancement in time? It's like school, for example. If you're going to school or you're sending your children to school, automatically the level that they would be at in standard 1, you don't expect them to be at that level level in standard 5, right? You don't expect them to be that's in form 2 or form 3 or form 5 or upper 6. You obviously get better, and improvement takes place. So what's the difference with sickness? Right? What's the difference there? So, take advantage of that initiative that we're having. Yours truly, Dr. Batson, would be in Shagona's office next week. We have that marathon week again. We'll be doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And that's open clinic day. You can call the number you can call us on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. For your convenience, we have also added an additional week, which will be the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th of April. Of course, we'll skip out the following because, that's Easter. So the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. Yeah, correct. Good. So you can, as I said, avail yourself of that opportunity. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Sintra L. Ramada. Pleasant good morning to you, Miss Sharon Theodore. So we actually going to be discussing today hypertension. I decided to speak on hypertension again simply because I made mention, I think the first time, but I think somebody told me this is the first time they heard me saying it, but I know that I would have said it or may have assumed that I said it. So maybe I have been saying it in conversations with persons face to face and not necessarily over the radio. But I know it is something that I have said on numerous occasions, and that is the type of hypertension, because apparently a lot of people didn't know that there are two types primarily of hypertension: primary hypertension and secondary hypertension. And secondary hypertension comes from the result of other issue. So, for example, you may have hormonal imbalance and you may have an issue with your thyroid. And because of that, that can actually cause you to be hypertensive. In a particular case like that, where hypertension is now caused by a hormonal imbalance via the thyroid gland, that would be referred to as secondary hypertension. Whereas primary hypertension would be hypertension that is caused by no other known situation, but just that hypertension. What is hypertension? High pressure in your arteries, right? So that's something we're going to discuss as we continue. Miss Carol Myers, a pleasant good morning to you. Miss Ria Harry Kisun, good morning to you. And of course, as I said, we are live on our Instagram page as well. We are Batson and Associates TT. So like us, share us, follow us. And those of you as well who are on TikTok, you could check us out on TikTok. We're now increasing our content, as I understand it is called, to, appeal to individuals and that kind of thing. I understand, TikTok is a much younger audience. So therefore, you need to put things in a particular place, or put things in a particular way, or present it in a particular way to them. And we actually started doing that more vociferously. So, please check us out there, like us, and do all what is needed to be done on that particular page. We actually have some giveaways that we'll be doing in the near future as regards to that initiative as well. Okay, so Mr. Carter, sir,
Yes, sir.
the ball is in your court, sir. Give these people their numbers and let's get the show started.
Okay, fantastic. You can send your WhatsApp messages to 333-9950. That's 333-9950. And when the phone lines are open, you know the numbers: 625-2759 or 624-7729. Let me repeat that: 625-2759 and 624-7729. Back to you, Dr. Batson.
Yes, and keep in mind we're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Miss Jennifer Valentine, our wonderful client there in Texas. A pleasant good morning to you. Miss Cindy Hoyt says good morning, Doc and team. Happy and healthy Palm Sunday, everyone. Sending love from Montreal. And Miss Maureen Pierre Reed says, good morning, Dr. Batson. Yes, I actually forgot to, say happy Palm Sunday to the listeners of Sky 99.5. I do hope you have enjoy your day today. And, the new advice for Sunday now is, okay, make sure you have some salad on that plate, right? So we don't only want, the macaroni pie and the bake this and the bake that. Put some, so we want some roughage in the thing, right? Miss Alberta Francis, a pleasant good morning to you. Good morning. Can I walk in St. James and get this service? You can, Bertha Francis, Francois rather, walk into St. James and you have the availability of the walk-in clinic. Yes, with the consultants there. That would be Mr. Paul Green. In some cases, Mr. Rene Bustamante would work there. As regards to the initiative and I'm usually there on a Friday, and you can also do that as well. As regards to the initiative that we're doing, with those marathon days, we'll be doing that for St. James. I believe we have St. James carded either for May or for June, because it's Debe, then it's Tobago, and Tobago is actually going to get like about 2 weeks, because of how we weren't able to provide the maximum amount of service to Tobago as regards to being able, because the office we were in before was a much smaller office than where we are now, where we have gone now. So of course we're able to facilitate more clients, do more services and that type of thing. All right. Those telephone numbers again for the Shagonas office are 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Debe, of course, is the corner of Ramsey Mudge Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That's right by Muniram Street there in St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. So again, that's 226-4553. And of course, for our online consultations, you can call area code Trinidad, area code 868-373-2388. Again, that's 373-2388. Area code 186. And you could always go up on our social media platforms. We have all those things outlined there. So that's why it's a good idea to like us, share us. So share with some other individuals. So back to what we're discussing as regards to hypertension, right? Now, why is it so important to focus on your hypertension? Because we're not speaking about anybody else's hypertension. If you are hypertensive, why is it important to deal with the hypertension and deal with it from the root cause? Not just a plaster and a sore. That's what we're going to discuss today. Well, we're also going to discuss prevention as regards to hypertension. Do you know that if you are hypertensive for an extended period of time, so let me give you an example. So let's say you are hypertensive, but you are not aware that you are hypertensive. Because you know that happens to a lot of individuals, right? They have high blood pressure, but they are not aware that they are hypertensive. It's only, you might stumble in some health fear, or you might get some bad feeling and you go to the doctor and the doctor is like, but with your blood pressure. And then it is at that point in time that you realize that you're hypertensive. Why is that dangerous? Well, I'll tell you. So let's take it in numbers. So let's say you're hypertensive for a year now, but you don't know. And your hypertension in terms of severity, we'll put it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, we will put it at a 5. So your blood pressure might read on average maybe about 150, 145. And let's go up. Let's go 150. Your systolic, which is your top number, and your diastolic, your lower number, let's say could be like about, we put it at about 80, 85. Let's say 85, 90 for safety. So that's initial. So the thing now starting to go bad. I will put it like that, right? In layman terms. So we are averaging our blood pressure about 150 over 85, 90. You're starting to walk in a zone that you don't want to be. Pull back yourself from there. That's not a good place to be. But the point I'm making, imagine that those were your numbers consistently for a year. What would happen to you? Most possibly you would start to develop early, because you're still early in the game, some problems with your kidney. But remember, you don't know, right? So if you don't know, you're not checking. So let's say 2 years pass 3 years pass, 4 years pass, you would likely begin to show early signs of kidney failure, and early, only to be detected maybe by a blood test. It may not necessarily show up. Because I'll tell you something, a lot of persons believe in order, like someone told me recently, well, Dr. Batson, people, you must know if your kidney giving trouble, your foot this well. No. Put a big NO by that. There are numerous signs of kidney failure, kidney issues early that your body tells you. And we're going to discuss that a little as we continue. But the point I'm making is that you are hypertensive and you do not know. So you're walking around with this thing all the time and your blood pressure. So let's move you from 5, and we're going to carry up on the worst end of the worst end. I say worst, like those old people. The worst end of the spectrum. So we're going up. So we put in you at 8. So let's say on average your blood pressure is maybe about 175 over 90, 95. Because there are people who just reach there. And let's carry up straight up to 10 now when you have readings like you're going over 190, over maybe 110, or you're hitting me at 2 something, at 215, over a 120, 125, 140. Listen to me, that people are getting that every day now. So don't be silly, because I know that some people must be sitting down here and say, but this man is a madman. People can't be reading that, have that type of pressure. Listen to me, you are going to be surprised. It have people with worse numbers than that. And let me say a pleasant good morning to the lovely people of Tobago. But if there's one thing I've always told persons that people in Tobago need to pay very close attention to is their blood pressure. Of all the years that I have worked and in all the countries that I have done work, I have seen the worst blood pressure in Tobago. The worst, 200 and something over 150. I just wonder how some of them people walk in. Which is why you would realize, even now, the statistics associated with what? Stroke, heart attack, dementia. Look at those things. You'll realize that we have a significant increase in neurological disorders. That's what they call disorders like dementia and Parkinson, and those are primarily imbalances in the neurological system. So you're realizing more and more persons actually experiencing strokes, ischemic strokes, hemorrhagic strokes. More and more persons. You realize a whole set of people now on clotting medication and medication for strokes and these type of things, and blood thinners, because everybody have a clot now. So Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners of Sky 99.5, it is vitally important that you mind your business. So get yourself a pressure machine. A pressure machine is not $1 million. Go and get a blood pressure machine, especially if you know you have situations. Let me tell you, if you know you're diabetic, get a pressure machine. You're overweight, get a pressure machine. You're doing a lot of night work, like you work a lot of shift, get a blood pressure machine. You know you're a meat mouth and you have a little weight, you live overweight, get a blood pressure machine. Because you do not want to be walking around with blood pressure for 4 years prior. And then when you find out, it's because you're on a dialysis machine. Please, it is not $1 million for that. Now that I am here, let me address a particular situation. And I am not I'm not attempting to be disrespectful in any way to this particular individual and the point that I'm going to make, but I'm going to be very clear. Because I believe when you are in a position of responsibility and you disseminate information to people, or persons rather, it is vitally important that you ensure that you say what you say in a particular way that people understand what you say and they're not left with misconceptions, right? And maybe no fault of yours, because I'm not saying that it was misconstrued, because quite frankly, I haven't seen the additional video, but I know about the first one where one of our former health ministers would have mentioned some issues associated with omegas as regards, because they were saying that there are a lot of patients that they have that they are experiencing situations with bleeding because they have now added omegas to their regime or their routine or their regiment, right? So what I would say is this. What you have to understand, omegas are not dangerous. They are not dangerous at all, at all, at all. They actually have significant benefit for the human body. And prior to the omega that was advertised or that is being vigorously advertised now for years. And I respect the people who do that because at least they're telling you about something that is good, because omegas cannot have a negative effect on the human body per se. I'm going to get to the point with the blood thinning situation, right? Just indulge me a bit. Good. So there are numerous health benefits associated with that. Numerous health benefits. Whether you have issue with the brand or you find that we sound like they're boasting too much or they're making it sound too good, that's your issue. The point is, omegas in general are exceptional for health. Me personally I take over 10,000 milligrams of omega for the day. And I've been doing that for years, and there's a reason why I do that. Okay? Which I could explain later on. So let me get to the point. The thing is, if you are in a system or a clinic that is a blood clinic, so you may be, for example, may have had a clot, you may have had a clot in your lungs, you may have had a clot somewhere, and as a result of that, you were recommended blood thinners. So we are speaking about aspirin, we are speaking about Clexine, we are speaking about warfarin, and those are the most common ones that I am aware of. And you are in a clinic like that, you cannot take or you should not take anything unless you are instructed by a professional. Now, the unfortunate thing is in the Western medical field, you do not have much professionals or any professionals at all as regards to nutrition. And I do not disrespect any of the nutritionists that we have, but those nutritionists are quite faulty in the diets that they provide, and that they're not updated. They're not updated at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. But that is no fault of their own, because the system for which they are trained or have been trained was quite deficient in what it taught them. So usually I see people get diets from dietitians where they tell them you should eat white bread as opposed to whole wheat bread, especially if you have a kidney problem. And I understand the basic science behind the instruction, but when you look at it in its totality, I don't find it makes any sense, because you have to take a number of other things into consideration. So anyway, so in a case like that, if you're taking things like Clexine and warfarin and aspirin, then you have to be careful with your omega intake. And I think that is what should have been said and clearly said, and not make it sound as if omega is dangerous and could cause you to bleed. That is not the case. All right, so I just think that is something that I needed to clarify. As I said, I'm not attacking anyone. I am just simply stating a fact as regards to nutrition as associated with omega 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so that's advice to you guys. So if you know you're on the people, if you're using aspirin, you're using certain things and you need advice, so that's where people like myself come in. Because I have treated and I'm currently treating patients on warfarin. And after God, nothing has happened to any of our patients, because they understand there are specific instructions that you are given when I am dealing with particular type medication, because I am trained in such a way that I am able to understand and I know what will interact and whatever, which is why we have that long medical form that you normally get when you come to us, that some people find is too long to fill out. But the reason why we have it like that is to ensure that you do not end up in any problems. Okay, Trinidad and Tobago. So omegas are not bad. However, if you are taking blood thinners, then you need to be worrisome. And I'm not saying that you cannot use it, because I have administered it successfully to hundreds of clients, and I have never had any problem. You have to know what it is you're doing as regards to that. All right, Trinidad and Tobago, listeners of Sky 99.5, you're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. Let me answer a question here. So, based on what we were saying about primary and hypertension, so all of that was to say, listen to me, you need to get a blood pressure machine. Because too many persons now are being told, listen to me, you have to get dialysis because your kidneys, we have done a bun, we have done a creatinine, we have done a potassium, we have looked at your blood creatinine, and your numbers are too high. And that would indicate the aspect where it means your kidney is not functioning properly. That is what that means. So I'm saying to you to avoid that, because listen to me, dialysis is not a fun in the park. I tell people dialysis is a necessary evil, whoever offended as the business. But it's a necessary evil because you have reached that point where we now have to put you and basically attach you to a piece of equipment to function like your kidney. And of course, nothing could function like your kidney, right? So, it's a means to an end. But what I'm saying, if you could avoid that means to an end, try and avoid it. Mind your business where your blood pressure is concerned. If you are someone who has been hypertensive for years and you use a lot of hypertension medication, mind your business. Mind your business. You have a shadow following you that you wouldn't like. It didn't meet you yet, but mind your business. And that is not me trying to be the prophet of doom and gloom or trying to sound like I know it all, but I'm saying to you, the difference between Western medicine and integrative medicine is this, Integrative medicine and integrative medical practitioners like myself are trained to detect early warning signs. Early. I don't want nobody telling me, let's say, for example, I live in Barataria and it have people, Christmas time is have people giving trouble, they want to rob and all kind of nonsense, and you're telling me, hey, it a bandit in Barataria. I want to get that news early. I don't want to know when you're inside my yard or worse yet, my house. I mean, you get deal with, but that's kind of too late. I had to study family and all kind of thing. If I know you're coming, we could deal with you, right? So that's how you have to approach that. That is how you have to approach that situation, that hypertension, that you're going to be in problems. I am telling you, I'm not asking you. You'll notice how many people we have getting strokes. This thing with vascular dementia, where vascular dementia only came in to the medical discussion about 20 years ago, or maybe within, let's say 15, 10 years ago. Before that, what they used to tell you, they used to talk about what? They used to talk about salinity. They used to talk about people saying people going senile. Then they came up with Alzheimer's, get a fancy name. And all those things mean is that you're not getting enough blood flow to your brain, and possibly your pulmonary hypertension is too high. So mind your business. Check your blood pressure. If you are taking medication for blood pressure and your blood pressure is not going down, and you do not attempt to make some sort of what's the word it is called by? An intervention, and try and change up that diet. Look at your meat intake. Look at how much water you're drinking. Look at your weight. You're fighting a losing battle. I, Dr. Jason Batson, tell you that. I don't care who your doctor is and where you're going. I've seen it. It's not 2 years I doing this, 13 years plus. And too many persons are getting stroke. Mind your business. You have blood pressure like that, you're taking medication for years. I am telling you, you are minding a stroke. It just ain't get big enough for you yet. It's just a matter of time. Mind your business. Good. So those telephone numbers that you could give us a call. You could give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsey-Mooch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. Again, 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That telephone number is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. Someone is asking a question. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon, good morning, sorry, to Ms. Dawn Ellis. She says, good morning, Dr. Batson and Associates. Interesting topic. As a hygienist, I take blood pressure on all my patients. I get readings of 140 over 110, or as the highest, I have seen 150 over 120. When I let them know that they should be having their medical doctor work with them, they get upset with me. Yep. And that it comes from Miss Dawn Ellis. Dawn, you can remind me where you from again? I think she's somewhere in the United States. But you see her job, she's a hygienist, dental hygienist. So she wouldn't make sure she check-ins. And you heard what she says? So people walking around with readings like this for years. That's why you always end up with glaucoma. There is no glaucoma patient that I have seen that has healthy circulation. Impossible. You could never have high ocular pressure and have proper circulation. Never. Never. But doctors would tell you that blood pressure has nothing to do with glaucoma. Really? Really? And next thing, I've always seen glaucoma patients, when you look at them long term, look at the history, dehydrated. They don't like water. Miss Dawn Ellis reminds me she's in Columbus, Ohio. So Columbus, Ohio. And you heard what she says? She gets readings 140 over 110. You can imagine your blood pressure is 140 over 110. If you give me 140 over 85, I could forgive you. But 140 over 110? Nah, man. That's madness. And you're not in a situation of delirium. No, nobody ain't die, you ain't grieving, you ain't get divorced, you ain't get horn, you ain't get. Why your blood pressure reading so high? Why? 150 over 120? You're going to blow your kidneys, and that is what happens. You end up with renal damage. And some of these nephrologists, you bounce up them fellas, and then they really have too much of time with you and that nonsense. But I still get here and there from somebody like me because I'm trying to see if I could help you. The first thing they're going to tell you is that if your kidney bad, it can't fix. Lies. That is not true. That is not true. I've documented evidence of people that I have worked with, lab tests, that show these people had GFRs that were in 5, kidney stage 5, 4, and we moved them in 6 months' time to 2. There's a 75-year-old client we have that came to us, and in a month time, we were actually able to remove that GFR went. She was in 3B, and from 3B, she went up to 2. That was one of the fastest we ever had. There's a client I had in Tobago too, bad hypertension. I treated them for high blood pressure years now, and that pressure was bad. That pressure get trouble. I tell you, Tobago people, hypertension is a different hypertension. But now it's better. I believe with that GFR, the GFR jumped, it increased by 22. That's the fastest I ever see in 1 month time. But I know why that happened, because there was a particular vitamin that I gave that individual, because it was something, because I work with a lot of hypertension persons. So I was always looking there. There's a tea that I usually have that is very, very good, but we were getting problems to get it after COVID. We now actually started back speaking with the supplier and that kind of thing. So I'm hoping, God's willing, by the end of what we in April. So by all mid-April, end of April for sure, we should have that tea, which is going to be newer too, because there were some additional ingredients we got in it to put in it and that type of thing. But I am always working on hypertension protocols, because not all protocols work for one. And obviously, right? Because a lot of people, it depends on where your hypertension is coming from. Is it primary hypertension? And if in fact it is secondary hypertension, which is high blood pressure caused by another issue, most of the time, most people have secondary hypertension. Women with hormonal imbalance, women going through PMS, postmenopausal syndrome. That's one of the easiest time in your life for you to become hypertensive. But poor you ain't no better. You go on to the doctor who's supposed to know better, and they tell you, well, hey, you what, you have high blood pressure, take tablet. When nobody took into consideration, how old are you? 55, 60? When you got menopause, did you go through an easy transition? Do you have problems sleeping? Do you have anxiety? Do you have depression? How much water do you drink? How often do you go to the toilet? How often do you get bowel movement? If you are trying to be healthy and you do not take these things into consideration, you are spinning top in mud. You are wasting big people time. You're wasting your time. You have to take into consideration, one, how much water are you drinking? First and foremost, I don't care what you have. How much water are you drinking? You can check Batson Associates. We have an alkaline water called Alkagen. Very good quality. Excellent stuff. Check us out. And it's not $1 million for it. Right? Next thing, how often do you go to your washroom? Toilet business we're talking about. And we're not talking about urinating. We're speaking about defecation. How often do you get a proper bowel movement? Operative word, proper. What is a proper bowel movement? Okay, so these are some of the things you need to look for. If you're eating a barrel of food, and I say that with being facetious, intentionally. If you're eating a barrel of food, when you go to the washroom, how much stool you're supposed to see? A quarter barrel of stool, a half barrel of stool. You all get my point, right? So, in other words, your bowel movement should be commensurate. Use a big word there. Commensurate with what you eat. So you can't be eating. Some of you all say, Dr. Batson, and again, bowel movement. Well, the reason why you're not getting bowel movement is because you don't have enough fiber in your diet. Where is the fiber in the diet? When we do blood analysis on clients, which is something that you could avail yourself of for these days that are coming here, give yourself a blood analysis. There's a package we have, a 3-in-1. We have a nice scan, which 98% of the time is accurate. I've been using not that particular machine, but various brands and various improved models, whatever, over the past 12 years. Very impressive piece of equipment. Looks very simple, but believe me, it is very accurate. Right? And let's see what's going on. How much blood going to your brain? Why is it that you have problems with dizziness? You have a fan in your head. When you get up, you're just spinning. You can't sit down. God forbid you can't drive, because if you ever get a dizziness, you can imagine you got a dizzy episode driving. It's God alone to help you there. So what is your body telling you as regards to that? So your bowel movement must be commensurate with what you eat. So ask yourself the question, when you go to the washroom and you have a bowel movement, based on what you eat, are you satisfied with that bowel movement? So in other words, you feel like all come out, or you feel, and it is no. Do you have problems? You're always bloated. You could sell the gas company gas. You always have gas. Outside, if you lose your manners, people dead. So that is why it's always important to check yourself out, focus, and pay attention to that, right? Good. So back to what we were saying there. So that's one of the things that you have to look at, your bowel movement. What's the next thing? Your diet, your diet, your diet, your diet, your diet. What is your diet? Simply put, your diet comprises of what you would have on a daily basis. But you see, the thing is, when we speak about diet, we only talking about what? Food, physical diet. But no, you have a next kind of diet, you know. What about your spiritual diet? Hmm? Now, that's your business. That's between you and Almighty God. Or however I tell people I'm more spiritual than religion. I find you end up with a whole set of problems where that is concerned. So spirituality, we realize that there is some being greater than us, and there's some sort of reverence somewhere in the thing. So whether you're doing deep breathing, you're saying your prayers, you kneel down, you say your prayers, you do your medication, you do your worship, whatever it is, that is important. So however you decide to do that, just make sure you do it often, right? Because we know that even though you have a physical body, the other bodies affect the physical body. And which body is the first and most important body? And when we say body, we mean B-O-D-Y, right? Huh? The spiritual body. So you have your spiritual body, you have your supramental body, which is your subconscious mind. You have your mental body, which is your conscious mind, and you have your energy body. So that is what the magnetic resonance analysis scan does. It looks at the physical body, but it also looks at the vital body. Very, very important. So in terms of your diet, we're not only talking about your physical diet in terms of what you eat, but your spiritual diet, your energy or your vital diet, which would be what? Exercise. Exercise is what strengthens the vital or the energy body. Meditation, deep breathing. Those are things that you need to try and include too. Now, I know the first thing you're going to say, oh God, I don't have time for that, but you ought to make time because it's for you, it's not for anybody else. And that is very important as regards to that. So those are the things that you need to pay attention to. So if you go to the doctor and that's what annoys me with people. I have a client recently. Very soon we're going to open our autoimmune clinic. It's going to be right in Chagonas there. We're going to be doing a lot of those in a little bit. To really focus and help people on that, because I find more and more persons are being diagnosed with all kind of thing. And what you really have is high levels of inflammation. So, how do you deal with inflammation in the body? And that is one of the things that yours truly has made sure. And and every day I get better after God. Thank God. Because we have to work to help these people that's sick, all these people with arthritis and just bending up and twisting up and like it's contortionists. We need to get that. That is nonsense. Because they're not contortionists willingly. These people are in a state of affairs where they reach a point where they almost cannot help themselves. And at the end of the day, we are not looking at the root cause. What is causing your arthritis? What is causing your headache? What is causing your glaucoma? What is causing your diabetes? And listen to me, you see these fancy diagnoses that always be getting to? A lot of the times, plain talk, bad manners is a bag of rubbish they're talking for, you know. I have seen some kind of diagnosis. These people and them should be fired. They should get new jobs. They told the client that the client has lupus. And this is not the first time, you know, we getting a lot of people being told that they have lupus. Listen to me, Trinidad and Tobago, the listeners of Sky 99.5. I'm not trying to throw, as the old people are saying, I'm not trying to throw sand in anybody's rice, right? But let me tell you something. Common sense make before book. You see this way people just be digging. Take a blood test for this, you take a next blood test, we do a scan, and they cannot find what's wrong with you. Stop wasting your money for me, please. Stop wasting your money in the sense that, now the thing is your money. I can't tell you what to do with it. If you want to waste it, you can waste it. But why I'm saying stop wasting the money is because a lot of the times that money you could have taken and do something with for yourself. Because a lot of the time your problem is inflammation, acid, imbalance primarily. So the main thing is that the body is out of balance. It is out of equilibrium. There is nothing, any aspect of balancing in the human body is compromised when you're sick. So what diagnosis you're looking for? What you're looking for? Tell me. I just wonder what it is these people, some of them looking for and how people wasting the good money. Now, I'm not saying it is not important to check, you know. Understand what I'm saying to you. But if you're checking a while now and you still don't know what's wrong with you, come on, let people who know how to check people check you, man. I have an answer for you. In 10 minutes in the office, I give you an answer as to why you're sick and why all kind of thing wrong with you. It may not be the answer that you want to hear. It might involve some things that you may have to change, especially regarding your diet. Because Trinidad and Tobago, I will say it again. I can say it again to you. Common sense made before a book. Not everything that is say is food is food. And the sooner or later, plenty of you understand that is the better you will be. Not everything that they say and they put in a pack or a box and a bag and tell you to eat it, you must eat it. My great grandmother always used to say, you see licorice, you know, you old people are saying what sweet in goat mouth does be. I don't have to finish it for you. All you know what it is. So you have to understand and adapt the 80-20 rule. In my case, it is 80-10. 90-10, sorry. 90% sensible, proper eating and 10% strippiness. Because you're entitled to some strippiness. My strippiness is 10%. I try to keep it 10%. Sometimes I go down to a little 8, depending on where it is. I take my cleanse and wherever the case may be. Miss Kamala Samra is saying, so true, I am paralyzed and they cannot tell me what caused my paralysis. They also told me I had lupus. Yeah. Easiest diagnosis is to tell people that lupus and give you prednisolone and methotrexate. Easy. My question to you is that your issue. That is not your issue. You have 11 organ systems in the body. I'll say this quickly again before we go to the telephone lines. Always remember this. Cells give you tissues. Tissues give you organs. Organs give you organ systems. And organ systems give you the body. I'll say it again. Cells give you tissues. Tissues give you organs. Organs give you organ systems. And organ systems give you the body. I'll give you an example. Heart cell would give you the heart tissue. So you have different tissue. You may have the myocardial tissue. You may have tissue of the aorta, whatever the case may be. So the cells of the aorta and cells of your kidney is two completely different cells, but they are cells all the same, right? So cells now would give you tissues, which is going to be specific to particular parts of whatever the organ is. So if it's your heart, the myocardium, the aorta, the valve, whatever the case may be. And tissues give you organs, which is what? The heart. Organs give you organ systems, which is the cardiovascular system, which comprises of what? An organ, which is your heart, and other aspects of the cardiovascular system, arteries, capillaries, veins, whatever the case may be, right? And organ systems give you the body. So your body is comprised of, if memory serves me right, 11 organ systems, is it, boy? Yeah, so you have musculoskeletal, you have cardiovascular, you have endocrine, you have sexual reproductive, whatever it is. Right. So it's about 11 or 12 in all. So I gave you that example to tell you that anytime you are sick, you have to deal with it from what? A tissue level? A organ level? No, you have to deal with it from a cellular level. How do you do that? That is what we do at Batson and Associates. So that telephone number, again, before I go over to Mr. Carter for the Shoguna's office, that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. 220-8113. Keep in mind with Shogunas, that office is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We're also on the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. Keep in mind, Debe opens Monday and Tuesday now, so that office is open Monday to Saturday, as opposed to the Wednesday to Saturday that we were before. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That's Muniram Street. That telephone number is 220-8113. 220-8113. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. And those days in Shogunas for that open clinic day with myself is going to be April the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, as well as April the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. Debe is going to be the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd of May. So all those South people, persons rather, we do it accordingly for you guys. Okay, so Mr. Carter, sir, over to you.
Yes. All right. We actually have a voice note. I think it's someone who's requesting the location. Let me play that for you.
I just,
Okay, it's not that one. Let me get it.
hi, good morning, Dr. Batson. My problem is I want to make sure I come to the right. Is the building opposite the gas station in Monitor building, close to Island Finance and a little bit up is the 500 stand? Because if it's right here, that shouldn't be a problem. Try to find because I live right in 500. But I just want to make sure the dates, I think I hear so the dates is the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of April. I would like to know if I really have the right dates. Because for the lovely side, I want to come and see it. I don't know what is the price range. When I reach, I will find out. I don't know. But I just like want to know if the building is opposite the gas station in Chihuahua State.
Yeah, so it's well, technically, yes, you're correct. You're correct. That's the building. The building is Money Talks building, but it would not be really opposite the gas station per se. It is because if you go down a little lower, it would be almost opposite. There's the mall. There's a building right on the corner, and then there's 500 taxi stand. But you have it correct. We are next to Island Finance, and is the building with the circular staircase glass. So the only challenge there is that building is a first floor building. So if you have mobility challenges, we would have to address you. If it is you have to come to see us and you can't make it up those stairs, obviously based on your situation, then we would have to facilitate you. In the meantime, God's willing, in St. James and in Debe, So you'll have to exercise those options until we finish our new office in Londonville there. All right, so you have the nail on the head, and the dates are correct. It is the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of April, which is going to be Monday, Tuesday. Is it the 3rd? My apologies. The 3rd, today is the 2nd. The 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, and as well the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. So those you could take advantage of. Yes, Mr. Carter, sir.
Right. We also have a couple questions. Is it okay to eat chicken liver? What causes white spots on your skin? Everybody tends to say it's due to pigmentation. It's not bloater, and the spots are very small.
Okay. So the question is if they could eat chicken liver. I mean, I I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, yeah, yeah, because it's going to help with people who have problems with like low blood count and that type of thing. So it is something that you can use. As regards to the situation with the spots, yeah, I know exactly what the spots are. You know, some people want to call it. They say hyperpigmentation, but as I said, it's not really hyperpigmentation. But it is an indication of mineral imbalances in the body. It is also a change or issue associated with digestion in terms of not assimilating food properly. And that's a challenge that a lot of people have. As I said, you eat, but the thing is, you don't digest food. And that is very important, you know. A wise man once said, to eat is human, to digest is divine, right? So digestion, and there's products we carry at Batson Associates for that. We have Digestive Restore, Digestive Balance is our next product. We have Gastro Tea is also a product that we carry as well. That became very popular within a short space of time because of so many persons who have acid reflux issue. In fact, that's one of the other things that I'm going to do as regards to clinic as regards to digestion. Because the thing is, I just don't like to see people suffer, and they suffer unnecessarily. I mean, I had a client recently who had a barrage of blood tests done, had barrage of doctors working with them for years, and they were sick and they didn't get any, like sick. They just get worse and worse. And 1 month, just 1 month on our program, and significant improvement to the point where she was like, she said, "But Dr. Batson, I don't believe this, you know. I'm glad, but I just don't believe it as yet." I said, "Don't worry, once you continue, just continue. It only have better from here. You can't get worse." But the thing is, she has been sick for years with no kind of result. None. And again, I am not criticizing as regards to medication, but you have to be careful because one of the things you have to understand, and all pharmacists understand this, is that medication has to interrupt or change something in the human body in order to give you the result. So if you look, for example, at hypertension medication fall under different categories because you have different types. But a perfect example is a diuretic. What is a diuretic? A diuretic is any, we'll say, substance that causes your body to lose primarily sodium, and water follows, which is the mechanism that most diuretics use. No, so the thing is, what it is doing is forcing body water out of your body to reduce your blood pressure. Now, you might have to do that in the case of emergency for a period of time. But do you think it's going to be wise to be doing that for years? You think about it. Or is it a calcium channel blocker where you're now blocking calcium channels or calcium in the body in order to bring down the blood pressure? Okay, if you do that temporarily, you do it under emergency, you may be overweight, you might need to lose weight, you know, your diet is crap, you're eating rubbish every day and drinking rubbish every day, so you need to change the diet. And then after you do that, you start to get improvement. That's what we want. But do you think using that for years is going to be a good thing for your body? You don't think your body after a while is going to have some problems associated with that? You don't think so? Think about it. When you're not correcting the water and you're not doing the necessary changes, it doesn't make any sense. Okay? Yes, Mr. Carter, sir.
All right. Hi, good morning. I have varicose veins. I am 50 years old and do have low blood counts sometimes. I don't consume cold drinks, but at night before, I always get an urge for a piece of ice. Is it okay to freeze my ginger and beets in cubes?
Well, yeah, that's a good idea. You could use it like that. I mean, but the thing is, you don't want to be using too much of cold things, because that has some, there's some issues associated with that. The thing is, what you're using for the anemia, because you need to fix that blood count situation. There are a number of things again we carry at Batson Associates, and sometimes I would shift my protocol accordingly, depending on the hematology report. So sometimes if I get your blood report, especially if you do like complete blood count, your CBC and those type of things, and I look at your numbers, your hemocrit is going to be important, your red blood cell, RBC is important, your total white blood count is important. But you always see, because the thing is, you have different levels and different stages of anemia, and that's something a lot of people don't understand. As regards to what you would use for being anemic, I am not a fan of iron tablets, because I believe, especially ferrous sulfate, it doesn't really, the assimilation and the absorption in the body is, negligible, right? You would want something that is more natural, so that it actually now comes in to the body, and the body could now from there actually help, like the red blood cells, help your bone marrow and that type of thing. I CMOS, which I'm a huge advocate of. We actually got CMOS, guys, because you're out. We actually sourced a very good one. Working very good, gelling nice. We actually, well, I sourced a few because, with suppliers, sometimes it's always good to have more than one, right? But so far, so good. And a lot of good results. I'm saying to you guys, drink it. Do not put milk in the people thing, please. Please, please. Anytime you do that, you spoil the product. So don't even bother. Just so. If you want, you could just take a 2 tablespoons in the morning. You could just swallow it. Find a way to take it, but do not spoil it. Don't put it in juice and soft drink and then foolishness. So please, proper thing. Right? And it's going to help you. So you can check out that at Batson and Associates. Someone asked a question on nerve restore and sleep. If we have nerve restore in stock, yes, we do. And what does nerve restore do? Nerve restore is primarily, it has adaptogenic properties, which means it has the ability to deal with stress levels in the body quite successfully. It is also, because of its ingredient profile and how it is done, it helps to rectify and fix the central nervous system. So what it does with your sleep, it actually fixes your sleep cycle. So REM sleep, non-REM sleep, and you go from REM to non-REM intermittently, that type of thing. So in a case like that, you find it is very beneficial for persons if you may be having a problem with memory. Cerebral is a good product. That the ingredient profile in that product is actually something that is used in research. They have done research on treating children with attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, because people attention hyperintensity disorder individuals usually tend to be persons who cannot focus. They get distracted very easily. So what that actually does is helps focus. And because of helping focus, it improves cognitive function, that type of thing.
All right, we have another question.
Yes.
When are you getting blood circulation tea?
We'll get blood circulation tea in a week's time. Yeah, so you could give us a call, give us like about 7 days, and you could call, and we should have by then.
And we have another question again. Good morning, Dr. Batson. Can I use almond tea instead of dairy milk with the CMOS?
Oh, almond, what is it? Almond tea or almond milk?
Almond milk, yeah, sorry, almond milk instead of the dairy milk with the CMOS.
Yeah, you kind of know. I mean, it's just a matter of yeah, it's not a problem. I quite personally find you could just leave the milk out of the thing. Yeah, if it is you don't have any aversion to oats, you could just put. So there's the mix that I would do for myself. I would do oats. So I would put like half cup oats, 2 tablespoons CMOS, a tablespoon chia seeds, and then I will add whatever fruits inside of there. Now I would use banana as like a natural sweetener. So most of the time it would have banana. Sometimes not a whole one, and maybe a small one or half of a big one. And then in some cases I'll put peanut butter in that but then I'm working as regards to my specific requirements for me, right? What I would say, someone who is a diabetic in a mix like that. So what you could do 2 tablespoons of CMOS. You can do the half cup of oats, and you can also do some sort of greens. So something on the green side, maybe some wheatgrass or some sort of green powder inside of there, if you're using fruits. Because you see the problem, let me just address this quickly. A lot of the time, fruit smoothies you have to be careful with because of the glycemic index. Remember, there's a lot of sugar. And then some people, you would make fruit smoothies and you'll put the berries, which is already sweet. You might put some kiwi, might put watermelon in that. No, that's a lot of sugar, right? So that's why it's always good to balance it. So you might do maybe about 2 fruits, and you can always research these things. I mean, the internet is going to help you out a bit there. After God is Google. And you put something green, you could put some kale, maybe some lettuce, or a little bit of spinach or something to sort of, bitter it up a bit. We don't want it too sweet because that's going to cause some problems, especially for older persons who not are active and, that type of thing. Okay? That's something that you could use as well where that is concerned. Miss Janice Hampton says, hello, good morning. Dawn Ellis says, my concern with patients who come for treatment would be those patients who do not know what medication they take or as men. Yeah, that's the next thing. A lot of persons, you're taking medication and you're not sure what the medication is. So if you have some autoimmune condition, I appeal to people like this because I feel very sorry for you guys because they get very sick very quickly, right? So everything they tell you, if they tell you you have lupus, you have connective tissue disorder, you have all these fancy diagnoses, check us out. Let's see what's really wrong with you. Because there's an answer. Your biological terrain, I'm sure, is in a mess. Your entire high levels of oxidative stress. I mean, those of you who would have done chemistry, we know what oxidation does. Perfect example is what? Rust, right? So that's what going on inside of people. They literally, it's like you're rusting away in the inside because of high levels of oxidative stress. So when we do that blood analysis and we actually able to look at your biological terrain, we are going to see how much your oxidative stress is. We're going to see how bad it is. And that is one of the things. So we now know how to fix the body from the cellular level. So we'll know if it is we focusing on musculoskeletal, gastrointestinal. Well, gastrointestinal we always focus on because that's very important. But it's going to give us a window into that situation to know exactly what is going on with you. So take advantage of those days again for the Shogunas office, which is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And those days are the 3rd, the 4th, Monday the 3rd of April, Tuesday the 4th, Wednesday the 5th, as well as Monday the 17th, Tuesday the 18th, and Wednesday the 19th. Now, keep in mind that clinic is a walk-in clinic. However, what I would do, and that is why I spread the days out, because I don't want to always be waiting millions of hours because we're going to get a lot of people and then, we have to follow COVID situations and that kind of thing. So at least do me the kind favor of giving us a call. Call either the 222-8261 number, that's 222-8261 number, as well as 314-9975. That's 314-9975, because we intend to do this as safe, as effective, and follow all the protocols that we need to follow. So what you could do is just call and let them know, or message on the WhatsApp, the 314-9975, and let them know at least the desired day that you would like to come. So if as I said, we could, if we could shift around, we might be able to give you an earlier day. Because remember, at the end of the day, we can manipulate the thing the way we want based on the numbers and of the amount of staff I have working with me on that day. Not staff, sorry, the colleagues that we have working with me on that day. All right, guys. So that's just to make your life easier and to make our life easier so that we all come effective and efficient in the thing. Okay, so Shoguna's number again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And the WhatsApp is 314-9975. That's 314-9975. Those days for Shoguna's office is going to be Monday the 3rd, Tuesday the 4th, Wednesday the 5th of April, as well as Monday the 17th, Tuesday the 18th, and Wednesday the 19th of April, God's willing. That's for the Shogunas office. Okay? Mr. Carter, sir.
Yes, my friend.
So,
All right, that'll be it from our end, actually, for
yes.
messages. Yes.
Okay, good, good, good. Now you'll just remind me as regards to, because I know today is the second, today's the first. Anyway, you guide me accordingly, right, sir? If it is as regards to right. Miss Kamala Saru, she says, Dr. Batson, what do you recommend that I use for legs spasticity and neurological pain in my legs in the meantime because of my mobility issue? I would like to visit your new office when it's open in Shogunas. Oh, okay, Miss Amaru. Yeah, definitely. If you have that situation as regards to what you mentioned, this is what I would recommend for you. There's a product we have called inflammation formula. Right? So the inflammation formula is going to be 1 tablespoon in 8 ounces of water, morning and night. Empty stomach. So an empty stomach is either an hour before or 2 hours after a meal, generally, right? Give or take. If you do not have any allergy to shell food or any religious issue with it, so meaning that you're not a Seventh-day Adventist, then, or maybe, if you're not fasting, I don't know what that situation is as regards. I don't know, I've just been thorough. Then you can use, there's omega that we have with astaxanthin. That's very good. That's going to be 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening with that inflammation formula. We also carry a product known as Optimizer. And what Optimizer is a free radical scavenger. So it actually helps again with oxidative stress. It would help with muscularity. If the neurological pain is like severe, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, you're looking at anywhere between 8 to 10, then I would recommend that you use a nerve restore, which is also going to help you to sleep better, but it is also going to help the neurological repair in the body, because that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Your nerves can be corrected once they have not been burnt or surgically damaged, right? Other than that, nerves can be repaired. Okay, so Ms. Samaru say it's at 10. So you need nerve restore. Nerve restore, and that is actually going to be 1 in the morning and in the evening. What you'll have to try and do with your breakfast, try and have breakfast that is going to, I don't know if you eat eggs, but you're going to need to increase the protein and the healthy protein in your diet as well. All right, so inflammation formula, 1 tablespoon in the morning, 1 tablespoon in the evening, and 8 ounces of water. Nerve restore, 1 with breakfast, 1 with dinner. Optimizer, 1 with breakfast, 1 with dinner, and the omega with the liquid in the morning and evening. And you should get some good results with that there, and God's willing, we could go from there. As I said, with the diet, we could always do the diet for you a little closer, but as I said, you want more protein in the diet, healthy protein. So like quinoa, you could do your eggs. If you get what is called these eggs again, boy? Common fowl eggs, or even better yet. Things like chana. I don't know how your digestion is, especially if it is you're not as mobile. You may have a build-up of gas and that kind of thing. So a digestive balance together with the meals to help your body assimilate the food better. And you should get some good results there, man. After God. Okay? So that's one of the things that we would actually fix there. Good. So one of the things too as well, let me just quickly say, is we would be able to organize one other thing. Oh yes, we also have road delivery as well. Ms. Marge Hill says, Dr. Batson, I just received my order of Optimizer inflammation formula and my minerals with silver. Can't wait to see the results. Thank you so very much. That's really, really excellent. Okay. So again, that telephone number for Shogunas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And Debbie is 223, my apologies, 7515. That's 223-7515. We have our next question, Mr. Carter.
That will be it for our end. Let me
Right.
take a little jack. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. So what we're gonna do, because that's what I was asking in regards to time. So that would bring us to the end of our program on Sky 99.5 for this morning. What I would like to do is that this afternoon, well, tonight we'll be doing our next live. That will be on our social media platform. So those of you who are on our Facebook or not yet, you can join. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. So you can you could join us on that live. That live we're going to be doing from 8, and that live is going to be 8 to 9:30. And of course, we'll be continuing this discussion. And of course, any questions that you may have, you can feel free to join us and let us know. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless, and do enjoy the rest of your Palm Sunday. Be safe. Mr. Carter, so till next week, you do enjoy the rest of your day, sir. Take care.
You as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Recording.
Yes, listeners. Yeah, that so we have that program that we're going to be doing tonight, God's willing. And that's going to be from 8 to 9:30, so just an hour and a half. And that's just basically to facilitate any questions that you may have. Keep in mind that initiative that we do in our open clinic day with Dr. Batson. Yeah, we need to call that because I was wondering what to call it. So that's just open clinic day with Dr. Batson, and that's been taking place on Monday the 3rd, the Tuesday the 4th, Wednesday the 5th of April, as well as the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Right, the 17th, 18th, and 19th as well. So take advantage of that. As I said, call. We are taking walk-ins, but if you can call so we could you may have a day that you want to come in or a particular, we can structure it accordingly. All right, we're working with you. So with that being said, we have our live this evening, so I need to get some stuff organized. Shakil and I need to speak as regard to some stuff, and we will go from there. Thank you so very much for the interactive audience on Facebook, and for all our Facebook listeners who are members of TikTok and know people on TikTok, you could go and check us out our TikTok. There we have some good information as regards to our Santulan. We're working on our content, so like us, share us, join us, everything that all you need to do. Just do it now. All right. So until tonight, God's willing at 8. God bless. Be safe. Remember, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless always, and do enjoy the rest of your Palm Sunday. Be safe. Take care until tonight. So tell a friend, tell a cousin, tell a neighbor, all these people who only know suffering unnecessarily, and all they're talking to them long time about Batson and Associates, they might be studying the money because everything is a financial consequence. But ladies and gentlemen, it is not $1 million. Even if you just do the visit alone and you do peace, I am telling you, it is going to be advantageous to you. God bless, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care. Till tonight, from 8 to 9:30, we'll be in touch. God bless. Bye-bye.